Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who's gonna join us tonight. We got some fun happening here in the creative cave, we can call it. Let's see. I'm gonna share real quick with our groups here from our iPad. See if we can find us live and get this out there so everybody comes to hang out for all the fun. All right. Okay, we are officially live. So we're going to share groups. Okay, there's our VIP and team. All right, if you are here, please go ahead and say hello so I know you're hanging out with me. Oh, hey, Barb. So glad you found us. Yay. That's always good. All right. Get that aside. All right. Real quick with our housekeeping things on Paper Pumpkin, it is, oh my gosh, April 6th already. That means Easter is 2 weeks away, literally 2 weeks from today. Hey, Miss Sue. So the month is already beginning to feel like it's on a crunch. So you have until the 10th to get in on this month's Paper Pumpkin, the April kit, which is Inked Occasions. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous kit. Going to make 9 cards, each of 3 designs. You're going to receive some textured gold foil on the card bases and sentiments. You're going to get pre-cut paper pieces and butterfly embellishments. It's going to have coordinating colors of Berry Burst, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Peach Pie, and Pool Party. And the ink spot will be Berry Burst. There is the add-on dies that you can grab as long as you're a subscriber. It will ask for your, hey, Paulette, so glad you could make it. Hello, Miss Sue. It will ask for your email address associated with your Paper Pumpkin subscription, and you'll be able to grab those add-on dies to stretch your kit just a little bit further. So that's always awesome. And those dies do go with the entire quarter's worth of Paper Pumpkin. Okay. Back in March. Okay, can you hear me now? That was very weird. Hopefully you can hear me now. Like it kicked me out. Okay, good. That was so weird. Anyway, was talking about the enamel effects being on sale. They are in the last chance. They did get marked down 50%. So they are now went from $15 to $7.50 for the bottle, 3 bottles. And we'll talk more about that as we get to them. Anywho, we're back to the linked together bundle, which does include 5 masks or stencils, which whatever you like to call them, masks or stencils. There are 5 of them, and we are using all of them tonight in one way or another. Our one card is going to use all 5 of them together. Just a really fun product that comes with our bundle. So you get the stamp set, you get the dies, and you get the stencils. And I will tell you, this is also on last chance. So once this bundle is sold out, it's sold out. So yeah, this is not continuing into the next new catalog, which makes me very sad because I've had so much fun playing with this bundle. And I am going to show you because we made the 3 cards last week using the dies and the stamp set. Tonight we're making 3 more cards, but we're using the stencils in addition to the dies and the stamp set. So let me show you what we're making. What did I do with the cards? There we are. So we're going to have to start with our last card first because it does need some dry time. But here's our first card. This is wishing you the best. And we used all 5 of those. Oh, let me switch our view so you can see what the heck I'm doing here. Here we go. So this card, this is going to be our first one after we do the background for our last one, so it has time to dry. But this one is all ink blending. It's using all 5 of the stencils or masks, whatever you want to call them, to create this really fun, very textured background. So I'll show you how we created that with the 5 stencils. So there's number 1. Number 2, we did use some embossing paste as well as some ink blending. We used the number 2 stencil and then the number 5 stencil for the embossing paste. So you get that fun little patterned background. And then for this one, look at that. It's a kind of a little bit of an elegant, actually, you know what? I think we're good. We don't have to worry about doing this one ahead of time. So I think I have my magic of television ready to go. So we're good. But anyways, this uses the metallic effects. I used the gold to create this rustic little bit of a background. But look at the shimmer on that. And then I did a little heat embossing here with a lifetime of love. So it says, wishing you a lifetime of love. So you could do this as an anniversary card, like the golden anniversary, or it could be a pretty wedding card with that black, white, and gold, which is always very elegant. And even use some gold embellishments here. So anyhow, yeah, so that'll be our last card. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with card number 1, which is a very springy. This one really just made me think spring all the way. So we have our Lemon Lolly ink. Yeah, ink. We do use that. But this is our card base. It's 11 by 4 1/4. We're going to fold at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and press that out with our bone folder. Like so. Put that aside. I had my coffee. Keep me awake here. Didn't sleep well last night for some reason. Anyhow, I have a petunia pop. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. We're going to trim that down after we do our stenciling and ink blending. Then I have a scrap basic white for stamping and die cutting. And then I have a little scrap of lemon lolly for our little flowers embellishment. So you can see that we embellished there. So we're going to start with our basic white piece here. And we're going to bring in, I've got here some masking tape here, or Post-it tape, I should say. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to line it up on my grid. We're just tacking it down. Like so. Now, if you're not using grid paper and you're using your glass mat, I'm a little crooked here. Whoop. That's better. I have here a dry erase marker because you're going to want to, we're going to start with our first mask. Oh, look at that. I put the, and we're going to get that kind of centered a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to be doing some trimming on this afterwards. I did bring my trimmer over so we can trim this down. So we're going to go ahead and tack that down. And there's a little notch. So you can always make sure your stencils are always lined up. So I'm going to take my dry erase marker and mark my notch. All right. Set these aside over here for now. I'm going to start with lemon lolly. Find what did I do? That's not it. Get all my blending brushes over here. Here it is. Okay. Get these all set. So you can kind of see colors. All right. So we're just going to go ahead. Now, this is a great technique to use if you have super juicy ink pads that aren't giving you the best impressions. You can always obviously take the back of a spoon and redistribute your ink, especially get it out of that center so that you get a better ink impression. Or do something like this so you're not wasting your ink. You won't feel like you're wasting it. You're actually using it. But at the same time, you're improving your ink pad, because when you have too much ink, sometimes that ink almost pools, especially on your photopolymer stamps, and you don't always get a good impression. Now I start off and work my way in so I don't get any heavy globs of ink in here. Oop, and then that just shifted, but that's where that little notch comes in nice and handy. Line it all back up. And finish that off. Okay, so there's our first application of ink. So we can go ahead and close up Lemon Lolly. We can actually get that right out of the way because we're done with that one. I do have here some baby wipes to help us clean our stencil. Some of these are going to be reused for other projects. So they're nice and clean, ready to go for our next project, although I don't think I'm using that one again, but we'll set it aside. All right, so again, our card is down. We need stencil number 2. And these are numbered as well. You'll see up in the corner next to the notch, there is a number. So you'll know what stencil you're working with. So line that back up with your notch, not your stamp set or the lines here on your project, because they are offset purposefully. So we're going to get that lined up there. Next color, Pretty in Pink. Start down here in the corner. And we're just applying our color. All right, so that's the Pretty in Pink. Again, taking our baby wipe, wiping that excess ink off the stencil. Close up our ink pad because we are done with the Pretty in Pink. And color next is the Peach Pie. We need stencil number 3. And again, it is labeled as such. And you're going to get that notch in there. And see how that's totally off from the pattern. It's the way it's designed, and it gives you kind of like almost like a 3D look. All right, so now we have our Peach Pie, which is one of those really juicy pads for me. So this is going to help. And we're just going to go ahead and All right. There's our peach pie. Okay. That one's all nice and clean now. All right. Next, number 4. This one looks a little icky because this one is the one that I was using for with our metallic enamel effects. So let's see, get that down like so. What did I do with that? There we go. There we are. And now for this one, we're using Petunia Pop, which is another really extra juicy pad. So I'm hoping, because this one was super juicy. It's even squishing out doing this for a second time. Okay, so now you want to make sure we hold that down. And swirl and apply our ink. All right. There's Petunia Pop. And this is going to stain a little bit more this time because it's got stuff to cling to with that metallic effects. But you know what? It's not going to harm anything. All it means is that we're loving and using your product. We love our tools. We use our tools. All right. So there's all that. We're going to get all this out of the way. And then we're going to do, should have left this in place. I forgot we have one more stencil to do. That's all right. We can get it. We'll get it all lined up. Set that aside. And that looks pretty good. All right. Set that up like so. Oop. Try to keep things unmoved here. All right. Now I got to bring in. Did I not bring it with me? I did bring this. We'll just use our glass mat since I did not, looks like I didn't bring over a block. I did bring over a block. Okay, so I have a block here and I have my white ink refill. And I'm just going to squeeze some of that ink refill onto my block. Now the white ink is a little bit thicker ink. It's a craft ink. We're going to dab our blending brush in there. And again, this is going to have to be held a little bit and we're more dabbing because that ink is so thick to get it in there. It's not going to be really stark. It does look a little watered down, even though it's not. But it just gives you a nice effect. I like the masking too, Paula. It's really cool. The cool look. All right. In there, we'll set that aside for a few minutes to dry. And that down there, we're going to grab a clean baby wipe because we do use this one again with the embossing paste. And see, it's coming out onto the other side here. And flip it over. And the embossing paste will do the same thing. I did discover I had a little bit of a mess when I was cleaning up from that. Oh, no worries, Sue. Have a good evening. Okay, almost got it here. Some of the holes do get a little bit plugged up, so you just gotta especially since we're going to be using it again. We want them to okay, that should be good. All right, so now we're going to clean off our block. Get that ink off there. And now, let's see, how are you doing? We'll let that dry for another minute. Okay, so what we'll do, so bring in a basic white piece here. And wishing you the best. So we need wishing you and the best. So we're going to use our Petunia Pop. Wishing you. Oh yeah, that definitely improved. That juicy. And the best. And that's going to go here. Wishing you the best. Okay. Close that up. And we need the oval die. And that's going to line up right about like so. So we'll give us a little piece of this tape. Baby Boss. Plates. Oh, sugar. There we go. Okay, run that through. What was the purpose of the paste over the inks? I didn't do paste over the inks. This was white ink. Barb. I used white ink to just get that pattern, like a little polka dot pattern on top. Okay. Yeah, it's the white craft ink. I just used the refill bottle and just squeezed it out onto my block and picked it up with my blending brush. Okay, so there's our sentiment. And then we can, well, it's not quite dry yet. All right, let's cut out our flowers. You're welcome. Okay, we need our little. There it goes. We have lemon lolly. And we're going to run those through with our little flowers. And if that's not dry when we're done here, we will hit it with the heat tool. All right. We're gonna pour little lemon lolly flowers. Okay. You're drying it. All right, we'll hit you with the heat tool. That's how we'll fix that. All right, sorry for the noise, but we're gonna speed up this drying process with this craft ink. I think it's such a cool geometric pattern that gets created with these masks all together. It's just fun. Come on. All right. Now we're just going to cut this down. The trimmer. And my final size is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to start with here. Turn it around. We want 3 3/4. And 5. So now we have our 3 3/4 by 5 measurement. So now bring in our adhesive. We're going to go ahead and mat it onto our petunia pop. Oh, this card just reminds me of Easter, like the colors, and I don't know, it's fun. All right, now we're going to add it to our lemon lolly card base. I will not lie, these cards are probably, a little bit messier than anything that we typically do here, but they're fun. Sometimes it's fun to just break out the stuff and play around with it. Our dimensionals. At least that's my feeling on the whole subject. It's just fun to get down and dirty. All right, so now we're just going to add our sentiment, like so. Now we need glue dots, which I did bring over a brand new roll. Because I know last week we used them up. All right, so we need 4 pretty little flowers. All right, so we'll start with 1. That one's going to just sneak up under. Oop, that's too far. I want to just peek out. And there's 4. I'll put that back in the box for now. And where did I put? There they are. Using these Starburst sequins, we're using the Petunia Pop, of course. Because, of course, that just pops. I'm going to put them right there in the center of our pretty flowers. And there completes card number 1. And you'll notice I flipped this one upside down. I mean, not that there's a right way or a wrong way, it's whichever, but I did do them in opposite directions. Didn't even realize it until I put them side by side. So if you have a directional preference, you'll want to pay attention to that. Okay, on to card number 2, which is, oh, so happy for you. All right, let's put that aside. And we're going to grab this is the, oh my goodness. Oh, Summer Splash. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we're going to fold on that score line. Then, of course, we have another piece of Summer Splash. That's 4.5 by 5 4 1/4 by 5.5. Has some scrap basic white for cutting our diamonds and stamping. And of course, we have Petunia Pop for our flowers. Let's see here. And you know what? Yes, I did. I also have a scrap of Summer Splash for our little vine there for our flowers. But how cute is that? All right. So for that one, set our card base aside for a minute. We are going to need the number 2. The number 2 stencil. So we're going to get our cardstock down. Actually, let's do that here, like that. That. And then this will go like so. I'll try to get that centered somewhat. I think that looks pretty good. And get our little marker here. Not that we're lining anything else up, but if this shifts, at least we know where we're going. Okay, so for this one, I need Summer Splash. And another blending brush. We're going to go ahead and start swirling on our color. Looks good. And of course we need more baby wipes. We're going to wipe off our stencil here. Now for this one, I did use embossing paste. And we used that, what do I want to say? That polka dotty which would be the number 5. Okay, so we're going to put that there. We're going to close up our ink. And put these out of the way. Okay. So we want to bring in number 5. So we're going to set that like so. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm using the plain white embossing paste. I have a jar of the old silver metallic embossing paste, which we retired. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how long ago. I mean, it's been a long time since that one's been retired. That one is still as good as new. It was opened, but still just as spreadable as can be. My white, which is newer, it's not new by any means. It's probably a couple years old because I don't use embossing paste a lot because you know me, I like quick and easy. Not that these are difficult by any means, but it does create a mess that you have to clean up, and Lord knows I don't have time for that. But it is fun to do. But as a result, I do store mine with saran wrap on the lid to help keep the moisture in, and it did help. This is not good condition embossing paste, but it does work. I did spritz it with a little bit of water this evening to bring it to a little bit more of a pliable consistency. But as you can see, mine is pretty chunky in there. But it does work. But definitely make sure if you buy it, you use it, because it doesn't keep well the white for whatever reason. Like I said, the metallics that we don't carry anymore, not so much. All right. Oh, thanks, Paulette. So now I have my embossing paste, and I'm using a generous amount, and I'm using my big embossing paste knife because I really want to spread that in there. And it does spread. It's kind of like spreading frosting. But you want to get it into those little holes and scrape away the excess. Scrape it up. Because as you're scraping it, you're pushing it into those little holes. And then you can put your excess back. And I think if I were to sit and really play with this, it would bring it right back to normal. Again, no time for that. So we're just going to put our saran wrap back on top. And that does keep enough moisture in there that it does continue to work as we need it. All right, so now comes the moment of truth. We pick this up. Dun, 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 dun. There we are. Didn't get it on there perfectly, but it still works. But you get the little polka dots. I need to set this aside to allow it time to dry. But, let me wipe this down, and then through the magic of television, isn't that what they say? Through the magic of television, even though this is really not a television, it's a computer. All right. I'm gonna try to wipe some of this excess off here. I think that this is going to hit my dishwasher and where it's going to end up going. And like I said, very messy. All those little holes are all nice and plugged now, so I'll sit and poke those all out later. But anyway, fun to play with. Okay, through the power of television, we do have one already complete and dry. Check that out. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have a card base. We have our panel. I'm going to go ahead. Let's wipe this off too before it dries on there. Baby wipes are a craft room's best friend, if you know what I mean. Okay. And clean as a whistle. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We are going to add adhesive, like so. Yeah. I got embossing paste everywhere. Ugh. Okay. And then this is the same size as the card front, so we're just going to line everything up like so. Ta-da! All right. Next, I have my white, and I need my triangle piece here, or diamond. The diamond or an elliptical or whatever you want to call it. Bring back the baby boss. We need plates. We need 2 of these. Sorry for shaking the table, which in turn shakes the camera. So there's diamond number 1. Flip that around. And why aren't you going? There we go. There's our second diamond. And we need our 2 little daisies here. And we need the longer. Let's start with you. Run that through. There's our little fine piece. Next, our little flowers. Oh, close. So close to having another die meet its demise under this table. Never to be seen again. Unless I suck it up in the vacuum cleaner and rescue it from the dustbin. That'd be the only way. Okay. Let's finish putting her together. So we have to take 1 diamond and slice it in half. So we need that trimmer again. So we are going to slice it point to point. Like so. So we bring our card back. Whoop, and it's going to go point and point. So we need those dimensionals again. Peel the backings away. And that's going to go like so. And this one will go right about there, like so. Next, did I bring it with me? That is not the one. Sure. Aha. I did. I have here, this is the white frayed grosgrain ribbon. And I am going to cut a little piece here. Just to go here in the center, like so. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. We do need this. And I'm just going to roll that there. And this is going to go, bring those snips back. And I did like to and then just kind of fray it on the ends. Not a bunch, but just a little, just to rough it up. Same thing on this side. And just rough it up like so. All right, so now that's all roughed up. Bring back the other diamond shape here. We need our Petunia Pop ink pad. And this is Oh So Happy For You. So I have Oh and So Happy For You. And I am going to stamp the So Happy first. So Happy For You. So we're going to So Happy For You. And that's going to go down here about like so. So Happy For You. Laying this off. And bow. Oh, So Happy For You. Okay. Put that over there. Close that up. Actually, we're done with that, so get out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to take a couple dimensionals. One up in this corner. The point, and one down in this point. Now, that's not. Oof. There, that looks better. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to add just a smidge. like so. Bring back those glue dots. Oh, Sherry, no worries. There's always replay. Glad you could come. Okay, so we're gonna grab this one and attach it right to the vine directly. And then this one here, we'll go right there on that part of the vine. And then we're going all out on the bling here. We just need our rhinestones. Okay, where do we do it? Take it back here. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna do and that finishes card number 2. Oh, thanks, Barb. For the stamps, I definitely like the chamois best. But for the stencils, definitely baby wipes. Definitely baby wipes. All right, we are on to our final card, which is this elegant gold shimmery pretty card. So for this one, I have a basic black card base. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Go ahead and fold on that score line. Use our bone folder to press that out. Then, of course, I have a basic white panel. Oh, I didn't bring over an extra panel. You know what? We're just going to use this one because I did not bring an extra one for the inside. Or I did bring one for the inside. I forgot to bring the one for the outside, but that's okay. It is okay. We are going to show you how we get this little background piece here. And what I did for that was I used number 4 stencil. And like I said, up here in the corner, you do see the number 4, so you know exactly which stencil you're using. This one happens to be a number 4. And our piece, white piece measures, because this is supposed to be for the inside, it measures 4 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4, but it should measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to do this piece. And the reason I didn't remember to bring one over is I have one done, the magic of television, so you wouldn't have to wait for it to dry. But I did want to still show you how I did it. So I have here my stencil. I'm going to get it on here as centered as possible. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to go with it. Bring in another piece here. Get that down. All good. All right. Still using my little palette knife here. And for this, we're using the metallic enamel effects. I'm using the gold. They do come as a set of 3, the metallics. You get the gold, you get the copper, and you get the silver. And like I said, they are marked down right now to $7.50. Oh, have a good night, Barb. Hmm. Is everybody else hearing me okay? Hmm. Okay. Anyway, so anyways, these are on sale. They're 50% off right now because they are last chance. So once they're gone, they're gone. Okay, good, Paulette. Thank you. So we're just going to take my enamel effects and I'm going to squirt a generous amount onto my palette knife. And I mean generous. As you can see, there's a pretty good amount there. And then we're just going to start just like you would embossing paste, only because it's a thinner consistency, you're not going to get like perfect fill. I mean, you can play with it and try to spread it out a little bit, but you just got to play until everything fills into, or you're happy with it. I'm happy having that rustic look to it, so it's not perfectly filled in all the way. And I'm just going to keep and you just keep on keeping on until, like I said, you get the desired look. And then it does take a little cleaning up because these are metallic enamel. Oop. Yeah. And then you can make a nice mess like that. It's all good. All right. So then, oh, let me do it. Put that into the card. All right. And then we just take our baby wipe, clean all that off. That looks pretty good. Gonna need another one. And then that's going to take some time to dry. But see how that, and then all I did was I cut it right in half at 2 3/4. So I ended up with 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I will show you. Try to get some of this off here. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, through the magic of television, we have one already dried and cut and ready to go. There we go. I also have a piece of the Botanical Textures Designer Series paper. This is cut 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So we can go ahead and start assembling our card. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive. Let's do this. I want more of the gold at the top. And because I'm going to be having a center, you won't see that bare edge so much. Okay. And then we're just going to add our designer series paper right up against that. I apologize. This one's going over the hour. I know that makes it a little difficult for everybody, but they're so fun. I hope your class went well, Paulette, and I hope you had lots of people yesterday. Okay, so now I have some scraps here. I have a scrap basic black that I cut it's 4 1/4 long by 3/4 wide. And then I have a 1/2 inch wide scrap of basic white. So for the 1/2 inch wide scrap basic white, I just stuck my finger right into that wet metallic. I have Wishing You, and I'm going to use my Memento Black. Wishing You. Okay. Next, so we're going to set that aside. We need our black piece. And let's bring in, have my little embossing buddy here. We're going to get all our finger prints and grease and static and all that off from there. And we need our gold embossing powder. I got my Versamark ink and a Lifetime of Love. I'm going to ink that up. Lifetime of Love. And we're going to stamp that about center on this basic black strip. That looks pretty good. That looks good. All right, now we're going to Cover it back on our embossing powder so we don't have that flying all over. I do have my little tweezers so we don't burn our fingers. And the heat tool. So we're going to let that heat for just a minute. I do like to let my heat tool get hot ahead, as I do feel that you get less warping of your paper. Nicely melted. See how pretty that gold is. I love the gold. Okay. Next, coffee's starting to get cold. We are going to add some adhesive. Lay it across like so. And that is going to bridge There we go. Straight would be good. Okay, there we are. And then for our wishing you, we're just going to cut at an angle. Like so. That goes back into the scrap pile. This gets dimensionals. Oh, hey, sis. And then that goes right about there, just above a lifetime of love. And then to finish this card, we have, these are the gold textured adhesive dots. And we're going to just put a few of these. A little one. A medium. And then we'll get one of the big ones down here, and that'll go right in there. And that finishes our last card for the night. All right, quick recap. So we have here our metallic enamel effects. Again, last chance. They are on sale for $7.50 for all 3 bottles. You can get these here metallics, which are your gold, copper, and silver. Or you can get the pearlized enamel effects, which are the red, white, and black. And you can find those in the online store, and they are under the last chance products. All right, and then we have here the one with embossing paste and ink blending. So we did tone on tone for the ink blending, and then we added the embossing paste to get that texture in there. And then where's the line to? We did full on ink blending with this one here, which just screams Easter to me. All these colors. And that was just using all 5 of the masks, layered, and just kept layering our inks until they blended out, and we had some fun with that. So that's what we have. Hope you enjoyed these cards and that it gets you inspired to pull out your masks. And if you don't have the linked together bundle, grab it because it is on the last chance list. So once it's gone, it is gone. And I think it's going to be, and it has been pretty popular. So I don't foresee it being one that will last a very long time on that last chance list. So that's all I have for you for tonight. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your evening. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope you have an even more amazing week ahead. Have a great night, guys. And I will see you, God willing, next weekend. Bye for now. If I can figure out how to get my mouse to move. All right, guys. Have a great night. Bye for now.